So my favorite aspect of Star Wars are the Jedi. They have inspiration towards real life messages we can apply to our own lives, and their wisdom still carries on in each generation of Star Wars. And today, I feel like going over my favorite underrated Jedi. So some of these might be controversial, since some people don't view these Jedi as underrated, but I don't see these Jedi as, like, let's say, not talked about enough. When we think of Jedi, we're going to think of, like, the most popular Star Wars characters. But today, we shall go over 5 underrated Jedi, starting with Hesley. So Hesley appeared in a cameo in the Clone Wars during the General Grievous episode. He didn't have a speaking role until the Savage Opress episode, where Count Dooku recruited him as an apprentice for a replacement for Asajj Ventress, and then Savage's test to prove himself worthy of being an apprentice, he had to kill 2 Jedi. But one of those Jedi was Hesley and his apprentice Nux. And I've already talked about Hesley and Nux a while back on this channel, but Hesley was killed by Savage Opress, and I don't know why, but his design looks really cool. I like his lightsaber. I even tried to make a comic on these 2 characters. But, yeah, not much about the character, and it's unfortunate he died brutally. He gets his hand snapped, and then he gets stabbed, and then his apprentice dies as well. It shows that the Clone Wars is willing to go brutal with their deaths. But thank goodness to Anakin and Obi-Wan, they were able to confront Savage Opress. But Savage Opress later would be with Darth Maul, and then Savage would die by Darth Sidious. But Hesley was definitely a highlight. And I think they even made like a comic with his funeral, so that's interesting. So not much to say about him, but cool Jedi. Next is Vlad I think his name is. I forget how to say his name. I think Vlad is like a Jedi from the Old Republic era, the RPG. So if you watch the Old Republic trailer, Darth Malgus invades the Jedi Temple thousands of years before the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy, since this is part of the EU timeline. But this Jedi was highly known in the trailers. I thought he was super cool with his green lightsaber, but unfortunately, he dies while fighting Darth Malgus. But he looked super badass. He was able to go toe-to-toe with Malgus, even though he died a hero, I guess. But the Jedi Temple did fall apart because of Darth Malgus. But a lot of people I don't know if people like the Old Republic RPG. If you like it, that's cool. But like a lot of people say, like, the game is completely different from, say, like what was shown in the cinematic trailer. But this Jedi was, like I said, is definitely a highlight for sure. And his armor looks cool. I don't know who voiced him, but this is what you can see yourself if you see yourself as like a badass Jedi. But next we're going to get into the top 3, which I have a lot more to say. Next is Plo Koon. So Plo Koon, you're probably wondering why he's on this list, since he's somewhat known. But in the movies, he never had a speaking role, and apparently he's had multiple lightsabers. He's had a yellow one, orange, green, and the iconic blue one. I think blue suits him best. I recently got an action figure of Plo Koon with his yellow lightsaber, but he has a major role in, like, the Clone Wars. He's voiced by James Earl Taylor, same voice as Obi-Wan, and Plo Koon does a lot with, like, Commander Wolf, the Wolf Pack. Like, the earlier episodes of the Clone Wars where we see more of Plo Koon's role, I thought those were definitely his highlights of the episode, where he helped save his clones and he was willing to care for them, even though they were in the vacuum of space after getting ambushed by General Grievous. But Plo Koon is definitely a cool Jedi, but unfortunately he got his ship shot down during Order 66. His clone troopers betrayed him. I don't think it was the Wolf Pack, but Plo Koon definitely died a hero, and I heard that he fought Yoda in lightsaber combat, and he won, which is interesting. So yeah, Plo Koon is definitely, he's not really known for lightsaber combat, since we've never really seen him in a lightsaber duel, but he's mainly seen in like the background of the Geonosis arena in Attack of the Clones. And I thought that's where he shines in that movie. But yeah, Revenge of the Sith, he just made a cameo. Plo Koon, definitely cool Jedi, and he wears like that mask to help him breathe. Apparently there are scenes in like the old Star Wars Republic comics where like he doesn't wear a mask for some reason. But I don't know. It's some weird lore reason behind his species. But the next Jedi is probably one of my favorite Jedi. Kit Fisto. Kit Fisto is easily a badass. He was able to go toe-to-toe with General Grievous in a lightsaber duel. He did lose his apprentice Navarre while breaking into the lair of General Grievous, but he narrowly could have killed Grievous. So that's what makes him so badass, and he's known for his signature smile. He was even able to take out C-3PO at the Battle of Geonosis. But Kit Fisto is definitely my favorite Jedi. I love his species. He can swim underwater. He's mainly in the water arc of the Mount Calamari arc in the Clone Wars. That's where he shines in those episodes. He's voiced by Phil Lamar, Green Lantern himself. But other things Kit Fisto does, he did fight Darth Sidious for a bit. That's the only lightsaber duel we see him in a live action. But unfortunately, he died. But some people randomly thought Kit Fisto was alive because we don't see his body. But yeah, Kit Fisto is dead. But I always thought he looked super cool. And I always wanted to unlock him in the Star Wars The Clone Wars lightsaber battles game. I don't know if you people remember that. But Kit Fisto, his signature smile, his green lightsaber definitely give him a spotlight on this list. But my number one Jedi is very obvious. He's kind of been, I don't know if you watch this channel, if you watch all the way back in the early days of my channel, I talked about Aagun Di. He is probably my favorite underrated Jedi and underrated Star Wars character. If someone had to ask me who my favorite obscure Star Wars character is, I'd pick him. But what made him stand out is in the Ryloth episode of the Clone Wars, where it was originally in season 3, but it's actually in season 1. But Aagun Di died a hero, saving the people of Ryloth with helping the supplies get to the Twi'leks, and he died fighting against a bunch of droids. And his lightsaber looks awesome. His design looks cool. That's what sings out for Aagun Di, a true hero. A true Jedi who fought with his heart. And his guidance towards his own clone troopers. But he did have some interaction with Cham Syndulla, so he probably helped Cham try to free Ryloth in some way, if you really think about it. But Aagun Di, he died by a bunch of battle droids. You don't expect that, since usually it's the clones who die by battle droids. But it also shows that Jedi can die too. But at least he died a hero, like I said. Sorry this video is like repeating myself about these Jedi, but what stands out to me is that these Jedi look cool, they stand out to me, and they just easily catch my attention for sure. And not a lot of people talk about these Jedi. My favorite Jedi are probably between Luke, Obi-Wan, Kanan Ezra, and a whole bunch of other Jedi. But we can go on all day about certain Jedi. So, I don't know what the next list should be, but we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you always.